you are already sort of a cybernetic symbiote. Neural nets are taking over from regular programming. So you are connected.
You're connected, I'm connected, we're all supposed to be connected somehow in Elon's little happy world there. And he was at the World Government Summit, which is an annual event that takes place where they discuss world government.
It's kind of like a knockoff Davos or something.
Yeah, more of a Middle Eastern flavor to it. But this clip is obviously going viral. It's Elon zooming in or something to the World Government Summit and speaking like a king, the king of peace.
But one thing I should say, and I know this is called the World Government Summit, but I think we should be maybe a little bit concerned about actually becoming too much of a single world government. If I may say, that we want to avoid creating a civilizational risk by having, frankly, this may sound a little odd, too much cooperation between governments. You know, say like while Rome was falling, Islam was rising, and so you had like the sort of caliphate doing incredibly well while Rome was doing terribly, and that actually ended up being a source of preservation of knowledge and many scientific advancements. And so, so I think we want to be a little bit cautious about being too much of a single civilization, because if we are too much of a single civilization, then if the whole thing may collapse. I'm obviously not suggesting war or anything like that, but I think we want to be a little bit wary of actually cooperating too much. It sounds a little odd, but we want to have some amount of civilizational diversity such that if something does go wrong with some part of civilization, that the whole thing doesn't collapse, and humanity keeps moving forward.
So decentralization apparently is his big message.
Yeah, well,
diversification of humanity.
It's very interesting. It's quite on brand for Elon to show up to the World Government Forum and sort of try to throw a wet blanket on the idea of a world government. Of course, this fits into his sort of branding as a far-right extremist, fighting against the globalist.
Which is interesting because President Joe Biden sent out a tweet under the POTUS account, and he tagged Elon Musk and Tesla. He says, in building our EV charging network, we have to ensure that as many chargers work for as many drivers as possible. To that end, Elon Musk will open a big part of Tesla's network up to all drivers. That's a big deal, and it'll make a big difference. So Joe giving the stamp of approval to Elon and Tesla, being effectively the EV charging network winners right now, anyway. In the US.
It's very interesting considering the Biden administration's sort of taunting of Elon. What I expect happened here, talking about the SEC investigating his business dealings, excluding Tesla from the tax breaks on the recent. What was it? I can't remember. Whatever his newest bills gave big tax breaks for people who bought EVs, except if they were Tesla vehicles, which was it. So they've been having this little policy war for a little while now, and it seems like Biden may have successfully sort of wielded some leverage over Elon, or vice versa. I don't know exactly which way this goes.
It's likely that the military-industrial complex made some kind of deal where they're getting information, data, or money, and they're getting a cut. And that's why they're able to endorse it. So otherwise, I don't think it would ever happen. So
all of this sort of negative Elon PR when it comes to the Biden administration and the way that Tesla is being treated, and SpaceX, of course, seems to have sort of culminated in them making some sort of agreement, because this is some strange pro-Tesla, pro-Elon messaging coming from Biden, which is quite a turn.
And Corn Pop was a bad dude.
Business Insider also had this headline: Elon Musk hit back at ex-NASA astronaut Scott Kelly saying SpaceX's Starlink is supporting Ukraine but won't be used to start World War III. Again, he's the peacekeeper. He's not the warmonger, even though his technology is being used to fight a war on the ground. But this article states here, Elon Musk on Sunday lashed out at former NASA astronaut Scott Kelly over restrictions Starlink recently made in Ukraine over worries their service could contribute to the war's escalation. SpaceX said in recent weeks that Ukraine can't use its Starlink internet service for military drones, such as to pilot drones, and has taken steps to prevent this, per Reuters. Kelly tagged Musk in a tweet on Saturday, asking him to, quote, restore the full functionality of SpaceX's Starlink internet satellite in Ukraine. Although SpaceX has limited Ukraine's ability to use Starlink for some military purposes, such as the drones Ukraine is believed to have used against Russian bases, the service appears to still be used for many military purposes as well as for commercial use. Quote, defense from a genocidal invasion is not an offensive capability. It's survival. Innocent lives will be lost. You can help, Kelly tweeted. We live in such a weird world. These are like movie lines coming at us from Twitterverse. You know, the ex-astronaut going at an oligarch technocrat. You know, it's so weird. Musk told Kelly he was smart enough to, quote, not swallow media and other propaganda BS, end quote. He called Starlink the quote-unquote communication backbone of Ukraine, especially at the front lines, quote, but we will not enable escalation of conflict that may lead to World War III, Musk added. Then they get into some other details about it, and SpaceX, he said SpaceX was trying to do the right thing, but this was an, quote, extremely difficult moral question. The company has not confirmed how it has limited Ukraine's ability to use SpaceX for military purposes. There is this paragraph a little bit further down. Starlink's terms of service says that, quote, it's not designed or intended for use with or in offensive or defensive weaponry or other comparable end uses, end quote. The Ukrainian military has reportedly used Starlink for a variety of purposes like communications, feeds from drones, and targeting for long-range weapons like missiles.
Yeah, so they're using it for military purposes.
Yeah,
this is hilarious.
They're saying they're not, but they weren't piloting the drones, but they're getting feeds from drones. Okay.
Yeah, well, that's
just a different way to
drones.
say the same thing.
Well, the funny part for me is Elon taking this moral stance. Ooh, what a moral dilemma. Ooh, the ethics of being involved in escalating this war with Starlink. Ooh, I don't know if I can do it. However, what he's not mentioning is that where Starlink is sort of the commercially available satellite internet from Elon, there is also something called Star Shield, which was reported in December of 2022. SpaceX reveals Star Shield satellite project for national security use. Now, Star Shield is Starlink. It's just the version he wants to sell to governments to, I don't know, pilot drones used to target artillery shells,
blow up balloons, tanks. Do it all. It does it all the communications.
Yeah, so he puts it in this moral issue, like, I don't know about Starlink, guys, when really what he's doing is saying, hey, you're using it for military. I have another product that you should be using for your military. It's called Star Shield. We don't have any more moral or ethical issues with selling you Star Shield instead of letting you use Starlink for free. This is simply a sales tactic.
Sales tactic, yeah, like a little marketing plan here to make it seem like he's such a peacekeeper.
And good PR, though. He gets to take the role of the peacekeeper.
And do we know if Zelensky made a deal with Elon with Star Shield? Or would we know? I mean, how would we know to begin with?
We probably would not know.
They probably wouldn't tell us, right?
This was part of what Elon was trying to get the Pentagon to pay for, you know, as the whole Pentagon Elon tension was rising last year, right? And he says, okay, I've given you a lot of free internet. Time to start paying for it. I think that the Star Shield is what he was trying to get the American taxpayers to pay for use.
It looks
Ukraine.
like, I mean, with the looks of it, it's literally just taking over NASA, you know, kind of doing what NASA was doing, but more high tech. The three things they want to do: Earth observation, communication, and hosted payloads.
Yeah. It's
isn't
like
that kind of what NASA
just,
does in research and
yeah, but it's a private company. It's privatizing space. Space operations or whatever. But
yeah. All right.
Anything else?
I think that's it. A lot of Elon. He's the peace king, apparently, but also the underhanded military salesman.
Hey, he's staying true to the brand.